September 28th. It's the weekend. Grab a coffee and let's talk about a realistic utopia of a fair society. Since we have reached the end of a basic discussion of Rawls' principle of justice as it relates to freedom, a quick recap before we move on to his second principle of equality. Rawls said that in order to know what it means to live together on terms that everyone could accept as fair, we must put ourselves into the original position. We should ask ourselves how we would choose to organize the society if we didn't know what our individual circumstances would be in this society, not just our economic circumstances, but our gender, sexuality, religion, skin color, land of origin, or in short, any diversity that could be picked at. Our unawareness should also stretch to the society itself in such a way that we should assume not to know anything about the society's composition and majorities. Do not assume that the society you will land in will look like the society you are in at right now. Neither that you will look like or be like the person you are now. Basically, what he describes is that the first meeting of humans who want to cooperate, what requires them to align their self-generated models of the world in their mind, so to a certain degree. Doing so requires them to agree about a defined set of data they will all use as a baseline in their model generation processes, because only that will enable them to agree on common goals. Why do they want to cooperate in the first place? Their motivation is not survival. They can survive alone, but the material things that make up a human haven't come together in the way they have in a human to simply survive. All material things in the universe seek both their lowest energy state and to be in equilibrium with their surroundings. That's only possible when you lean into the unknown and explore your surroundings. Humans are the best exploration machines material things have found yet on Earth, have come together, have composed yet on Earth. The biggest prospect of success, the highest payoff in any exploration, offer random searches. They also pose the highest risk for the individual, as the success is random and thus, per definition, neither plannable nor standardizable. The risk for the individual can be offset by, you guessed it, cooperation. Hence, the goal every member of the group coming together in this meeting has, the main things we want to get out of the negotiations for themselves and the group, is the ability to engage in as random searches as possible. This refers to the level of a group. So the group itself, the searches done by the group itself should be randomized, but also to the individual, because if any of the participants were happy with exploiting existing knowledge all day long, every day, as we are doing right now, the majority of us, they wouldn't seek cooperation. They could survive by themselves. They could do this, exploiting existing knowledge all day long, every day, and even sprinkle in a little bit of random searches and get new knowledge out of them. And it is important that this desire is really the desire of the material things making up each human. These material things can't be convinced that it's enough that material things gathered in another member of a group are enabled to get closer to what they seek, because the group enables these few to explore. So it really has to come back to every individual member the chance to engage in random searches. From behind the veil of ignorance, Rawls discerned we would settle on two overarching principles, justice and equality, and then the principle of intergenerational justice and sustainability that plays a role in both of the overarching principles. The basic liberties principle is a template for protecting our most important freedoms and designing a democratic political system, while the equality principle tells us how to organize our core social and economic institutions. One defines our liberties, the other defines the worth of our liberties. Together with the just saving principle, they describe the ideal of economic justice that is both liberal and egalitarian, while we recognize the limits of our finite planet. They constitute a truly systematic alternative to the neoliberalism that continues to dominate economic thinking and which serves to justify the ecological destruction and inequality that blight our society today. Rawls didn't know what science tells us today about what each one of us recognizes as reality, that it is all a self-generated model of a world that, since it is based on just a few sensory data we might or might not share, and a lot of filling up gaps, is unique to each of us and therefore incredibly diverse. But his ideas lead us to exactly the point that thinking in terms of creating a basis of cooperation in a world where every human self-generated sphere model of the world would take us a fair contract between all members that would lead to an alignment of the individual self-generated worlds must balance a protection of diversity that must remain between the models of the world to ensure that the explorations conducted by the members of a group and the group as a whole remain random, with an alignment of the models of the world in the individual models of the world of each member to the degree necessary to get the level of cooperation pursued by all. The basic freedoms all work to establish the two ends of the seesaw. The diversity, the remaining diversity of the models of the world that the individual generates, and the alignment of these models of the world that is necessary for cooperation. But it is the equality principle that helps to define the exact system that is needed to offset the risk attached to random searches for the group and all the individuals in the group, not just a few. And that's what we will be beginning to talk about, not necessarily tomorrow, because I have a lot of things on my schedule tomorrow, but the day after. Any thoughts? Tell me. Tell all. Leave comments here or on my blog where I post the text, the transcript of this video. Since our models of the world change with every new information we gather, and the models are only accessible to others when we communicate them, we are part of never-ending negotiations that require constant conversation and debate. That's why we have communication in the first place. Okay, so much today. I hope you have a great Saturday. You can see me tonight again when I'm cooking a staple of Berlin kitchen. You might not like it because it involves liver, cow liver. And I prepare that while I'm talking about fair society, just as I did right now. And if TikTok Live is not your thing, I will be back the day after tomorrow with a new video post and a new blog post based on this video post. So until then, bye.